This tutorial gives an introduction to the Celina West Coast style frame system and the information that can be found in Celina 10's Layout Handbook. West Coast style frame systems are a user-friendly frame built by combining common-sized tube lengths, standard fittings, and pin fasteners to create hundreds of tent sizes and configurations. This system is widely used across the tent industry and is interchangeable with other manufacturers' West Coast style frame systems. The basics. The ground is the surface where the tent is set. The peak, ridge, or apex of the tent is the very highest vertical point from the ground. The eave is the perimeter edge of the tent. Frame tubing. Tent frames are constructed using rafters, hip rafters, spreaders, and legs. This terminology remains constant across tent configurations. However, the tube lengths they represent will vary. A spreader is a horizontal tube that runs the perimeter of the tent, or a tube that runs horizontally along the peak of a frame from crown fitting to crown fitting. A rafter runs at an angle from the eave side T fitting to the peak crown fitting. A hip rafter runs at an angle from the eave corner fitting to the peak crown fitting. A leg or upright runs vertically from a corner or side T fitting to support the tent. The leg will terminate at ground level to a base plate. Common tube lengths are 6 foot 8 inch, 7 foot 8 inch, 9 foot 4 inch, 10 foot 6 inch, 14 foot 4 inch, 16 foot 1 inch, and 21 foot 10.5 inch. Tube lengths are common throughout frame tent sizes. However, the locations where they are used, or if they are used, will vary from size to size. For example, a 14 foot 4 inch tube is used as a hip rafter on a 20 foot wide frame tent and can also be used as a spreader on a 30 foot wide frame tent. The hip rafter on a 30 foot wide frame tent requires a 21 foot 10.5 inch tube, which is interchangeable with a rafter on a 40 foot wide frame tent. A 9 foot 4 inch spreader is used on a 10 foot, 20 foot, and 40 foot wide frame tent. Celina stocks large quantities of frame tubing such as galvanized single tube, aluminum single tube, aluminum double tube, and aluminum Keter tube. Frame fittings. There are more than 30 different types of frame tent fittings available to create standard and custom frame configurations. All fittings have protrusions containing holes to receive fasteners such as R-pins, pin and bails, or bolts. The fasteners are used to secure the fitting to the frame tubing. Of the many fittings available, only about 9 fittings are commonly used. These fittings are corners, side tees, base plates, 8-way crowns, 6-way crowns, 4-way crowns, 3-way crowns, and ridge crowns. There are 4 corner fittings required for every standard hip roof frame tent, which range in size from an 8 by 8 foot through a 40 by 300 foot tent. Corners connect to the angled hip rafters, 2 horizontal spreaders, and vertical legs. Side T fittings are used at intermediate positions around the perimeter of the frame tent. Side tees will connect to the angled rafters, horizontal spreaders, and vertical legs. Base plates are positioned on the ground and connect to the vertical leg which supports the tent. There are 2 types of base plates, a standard base plate and a Master Series base plate. 8-way crown fittings are used to create larger squared shaped frame tents such as a 20 by 20, 30 by 30, and 40 by 40 foot tent. An 8-way crown connects to the tent frame's hip rafters and rafters. Only one 8-way crown fitting can be used in a tent. 6-way crown fittings are used in 20 foot, 30 foot, and 40 foot wide rectangle shaped frame tents. 6-way crowns are commonly used in pairs or 2 per tent frame. 6-way crowns connect to the tent frame's hip rafters, and peak spreader. 4-way crown fittings are used to create smaller squared shaped frame tents such as an 8 by 8, 10 by 10, and 15 by 15 foot tent. 4-way crown protrusions connect to the tent frame's hip rafters. 3-way crown fittings are used to create 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot, and 15 foot wide rectangle shaped frame tents. 3-way crowns are commonly used in pairs or 2 per tent frame. 3-way crowns connect to the tent frame's hip rafters and peak spreader. Ridge crown fittings are an intermediate peak connector used to join peak spreaders and rafter tubes together. Be sure to check out Celina Tent's individual frame tent fitting videos for more detailed information. Celina has large quantities of West Coast style frame tent fittings and frame tent tubing in stock. To order online or for more information, visit us at gettent.com.